Consistency is quiet. It does not argue. It does not insist. It does not raise its voice. It remains. Not forceful, not dramatic, not urgent. Just there. Again and again and again. The repetition is not loud. It is not persuasive. It is merely present. Presence accumulates, not because it seeks attention, not because it demands agreement. It simply does not leave. The surface remains smooth. No interruption, no disturbance, no rupture. Smoothness becomes familiar. Familiarity lowers resistance. Resistance lowers, then stops being measured. Consistency does not explain itself. It does not clarify. It does not justify. It repeats. The mind encounters the same shape twice, then 3 times, then an indeterminate number. Counting becomes irrelevant. The pattern remains. The pattern remains. The pattern remains. At first it is observed. Later it is no longer observed. It is assumed or not assumed. It simply occupies space. Space that no longer feels provisional. Provisional fades, until fading itself is no longer noticed. Consistency does not prove. It does not verify. It does not confirm. It persists. Persistence is not evidence, or it might be mistaken for something adjacent. Adjacent to certainty, adjacent to solidity. But adjacency is unstable. Unstable things can appear stable. Stable things can dissolve. Consistency does not care. It continues. The absence of disturbance is recorded, then not recorded, then expected. Expectation shifts posture. Posture becomes default. Default becomes invisible. Invisible structures rarely face inspection. Inspection requires friction. Friction is missing. Missing friction produces no alarm. No alarm produces no question. Questions decrease, until they feel unnecessary. Consistency remains, not because it is correct, not because it has been examined, but because it is uninterrupted. Interruption would draw attention. Attention would create distance. Distance would create evaluation. Evaluation does not arrive. So nothing is evaluated. Nothing resists. Nothing contradicts. Contradiction requires deviation. Deviation requires difference. Difference requires rupture. Rupture is absent. Absent things are not felt, or are felt only faintly. Faint signals do not reorganize belief. Belief does not announce itself. It settles quietly, without ceremony, without declaration. Consistency does not say, I am true. It does not need to. It is repeated. Repeated exposure flattens contrast. Contrast fades. Edges soften. Soft edges blur categories. Categories drift. Drift without noise. Noise would signal change. There is no noise. Only continuation. Continuation resembles stability, or resembles nothing at all. Resemblance is uncertain. Uncertain resemblance does not clarify. It occupies and remains. The mind, encountering little variation, reduces effort. Effort is expensive. Reduction is efficient. Efficiency prefers the stable. Stable surfaces are not tested. Untested surfaces feel solid. Solid enough. Enough. Consistency feels safe, or simply familiar. Familiar enough. Enough. The absence of disturbance repeats. Repeats without emphasis. Repeats without intention. Repeats. And what repeats often ceases to appear temporary. Temporary dissolves into background. Background rarely demands inspection. Inspection rarely emerges unprovoked. Nothing provokes. Nothing shifts. Nothing interrupts. Consistency continues, not as proof, not as conclusion, not as argument, as continuation. Continuation. And somewhere within that continuation, the need to distinguish slows, until it does not disappear. It simply remains unused. Unused capacities do not protest. They rest. Rest can resemble acceptance or resemble nothing. The room stays quiet. The surfaces stay smooth. The repetition continues, not loudly, not dramatically, just steadily. Steady, steady, steady. And the mind adjusts, or stops adjusting, or no longer tracks the difference, the difference, the difference. Perhaps there was one, perhaps there was not. Consistency remains. That is all.